Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have some breaking news coming out here for you and I want to share some updates and some additional information on potential terror attacks inside the United States. So we have former Centcom commander, his name is retired General Frank Mckenzie, okay, and he's the former head of Centcom. Okay, so he's coming out recently on ABC News, and I got a video here to show you warning that the U.S. is a prime target for ISIS-K after the Moscow attack. So if you weren't aware of that, just about a week or week and a half ago, we had a horrible terror attack inside of Moscow in Russia at the Crocus City Hall. There was like 143 people that were killed, and we had hundreds more that were wounded. There was about 4 ISIS-K terrorists that broke into the Crocus City Hall, and unfortunately, many people were shot and killed in this incident. So now we've got this former CENTCOM commander coming out and warning that the United States is next. Now, obviously, Europe is a potential target as well, but we're going to discuss the U.S. here in this video. So I have a video that I want to show you as well where he's talking about this, and the main reason that he's warning that the U.S. is a prime target for a terror attack is due to the fact that the U.S. is no longer putting military pressure in the Middle East. Okay, so we pulled out of Afghanistan. We don't have nearly as many troops in the Middle East to put pressure on ISIS, and now ISIS is starting to regrow, and now we're starting to see more attacks in Afghanistan and also in Russia now. So they're warning that there's a potential attack that could happen in the United States. So I just want to get this information out there and let you see this. So let's take a look at this together, and then we'll talk about this when it's done.
Your CENTCOM successor, General Michael Kurilla, said just days before the Moscow attack that ISIS-K, quote, retains the capability and will to attack U.S. and Western interests abroad in as little as 6 months and with little or no warning. What's your confidence in that intelligence?
I think General Kurilla is spot on with that assessment. Here's the problem. Again, we go back to ISIS-K. If you can keep pressure on them in their homeland, in their base, it makes it hard for them to conduct these types of attacks. Unfortunately, we no longer place that pressure on them. So they're free to gain strength, they're free to plan, they're free to coordinate, and to outreach and hit us in our homelands. So you'd much rather be playing an away game than a home game. We've chosen to play a home game.
And you were, of course, one of the senior leaders who did not want to leave Afghanistan entirely. When you look back on that period, do you think, outside of the chaotic withdrawal, do you think had we left 2,500 troops there, things would be different?
I have to believe, Martha, that things would be very different. We believed at the time that leaving 2,500 troops, along with our NATO partners, who would have left 4,000 or 5,000 troops, we would have been able to continue to work against ISIS, which was the principal reason we're in Afghanistan, to prevent attacks on our homeland. I think we might be in a very different place now. I think we might actually be safer now than we are.
We were told again and again that there's this over-the-horizon way of looking at Afghanistan and tracking ISIS. We have, what, 2,500 troops in Iraq, about 900 in Syria. Not enough?
Well, I think we have enough in Iraq and in Syria to conduct operations against ISIS, the remnants of ISIS in the Euphrates River Valley and in eastern Syria. And of course, Martha, you also remember our SDF partners, our partners there are sitting on top of a prison system with approximately 10,000 ISIS fighters that are incarcerated in it. If that prison system were to open up, would let forth on the world a whole new chapter of ISIS violence. So that's very important to us. On the other hand, in Afghanistan, we have almost no ability to see into that country and almost no ability to strike into that country. And so ISIS there is able to grow unabated. There's no pressure on them. And again, our operating theory has always been with violent extremists, you want local security forces to be able to control them, and then you want them to not be able to establish the connective tissue internationally that allows them to carry out external attacks abroad. And it's very hard to do that in Afghanistan, where you just don't have the ability to sense, you don't have the ability to strike, very limited resources.
So what do you think the threat to the homeland is. You heard General Kurilla talk about, obviously, U.S. interests abroad, but the homeland, how soon, how big is ISIS?
So ISIS-K in particular, but ISIS in general, has a strong desire to attack our homeland. We should believe them when they say that. They're going to try to do it. And so I think the threat is growing. It's begun to grow as soon as we left Afghanistan and took pressure off ISIS-K. So I think we should expect further attempts of this nature against the United States as well as our partners and other nations abroad. I think this is inevitable.
All right, so as you can see there, obviously this threat is real, okay? And I've reported this many times. We've had FBI Director Christopher Wray come out and talk about this, about the fact that the southern border is wide open, that ISIS-K could, or their affiliates could be coming to the border right now or already be here in the United States. We also had Senator Marco Rubio. I just reported on him just a few days ago. He came out on national news too and was warning that ISIS could already be here. And if they're already here, it only took 4 terrorists to do the damage that we saw at the Moscow Crocus City Hall, right? So imagine if there was 10 or 20 or 50 of them here in the United States. There's already been millions of people that have come into the country through the southern border just in the last few years. So imagine if it only took, 10 or 20 or 50 of them, and I've talked about this before. This could be a very massive attack and we could have lots of casualties. So I just want to get this out there to you, and so that way you guys are aware of this, because this is obviously a major threat. And I do agree with this this former general here that there's a high possibility that ISIS could attack us. And could it even be ISIS? It could be a different group. It could be somebody else. There's a lot of enemies to the United States right now, and a lot of people are not happy with this country. So just be very careful when you go out and about, and try to protect yourself. Pay attention to your surroundings, protect your family. And if you can do it safely and legally, carry a self-defense tool to defend yourself if something were to happen. I think that's always very important to utilize that right. And just, watch out for anything that seems suspicious, because they're saying here that this could be anywhere between like now and 6 months where something terrible could happen here. And this is not just one warning. There's lots of warnings coming out. So let me know what you think down below. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions in the comments section. If you got something out of this video, please smash the like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below and hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.